We're going to go through a full body mobility routine. I always feel one of the biggest problems with mobility is that most of the routines you find online are from people who are incredibly mobile and supple already. Most of the people who need to do mobility training can't really mimic a lot of those positions. So you got a benefit here. I'm not super mobile and supple. I'm in my 50s. So this is actually something that I might do on a daily basis to keep my body healthy. We're going to use a variety of ways to stretch and mobilize to get the body working right. And we're going to start down here on the ground on our stomachs. So we're going to start here in this Cobra position. Really simple. I'm just going to have my elbows under my shoulders. I'm going to raise my head up and down 10 times. So in this position here, I'm focusing on keeping my shoulders pushed away from my ears, keeping my spine as long as possible, and just raising my head gently up and down, not forcing any movement at all. And then one more. And now I'm going to circle my shoulders. So this isn't just straight up and down. I'm drawing my shoulder blades back, then pushing them apart and circling my shoulder blades around in a circle. That's number 8, and we'll do 2 more. And then we'll go the other way. So same thing, I'm pulling my shoulder blades back together and down and deliberately working to circle my shoulders as much as possible here. And 2 more. And from this position, we're going to go fully down to our stomachs, and we're just going to make ourselves into a big Y. So thumbs go up to the ceiling, hands go up, and we're just going to do 10 in this position as well. That one's 8, and then 2 more. And now we go hands out to the side, so I make myself into a big T. Again, thumbs at the roof, and we just lift straight up from there. Really work to keep thumbs high. It'd be tempting to point your thumbs forward. You want to make sure your thumbs go straight up as possible so the arms are as externally rotated as possible. And we'll do 1 more. And we go hands back down by your thighs. And from this position here, imagine I'm taking something and I'm putting it into my opposite back pocket. So left hand goes to right pocket, right hand goes to left pocket. And I'm just going to do 10. So it's 5 on each side, putting my hands into the opposite pocket. There's number 8. We do 2 more. That's 1 each side. And then leave your left hand where it is. Bring the right hand up. Hands go out in front like I'm doing breaststroke. So hands to butt, hands go out in front. Try to avoid touching the ground. And we got 3 to go. And 1 more. And from here, we're just going to roll onto our back and now start working on some hip mobility. So from this position here, I bring my knee to my chest. Now, I've got this amount that I can bring my knee to my chest, and then I'm just going to pull it slightly more. The other hip, I'm going to make the biggest circle possible. So I'm going to turn my foot in, and I'm going to open my hip out as much as possible. So I'm not just circling my hip around, I'm making sure to internally and externally rotate my foot as much as possible so I make this circle as big and as wide ranging as possible for my lower body. This one's number 8, so we've got 2 to go. And then we're going to go the other way. So internally rotate the foot, now externally rotate, kick it out as much as possible, and then follow that path again. You'll probably feel some clicking and some clunking in your hip. It's nothing to worry about. That's just tendon moving over joint. As you actually get more flexible, more mobile, and the joint sits in the right place, that will actually go away. But you'll need to spend some time getting the joints nice and loose, making sure they sit properly so everything's centered nicely. And then 1 more,
and then you'll find that actually goes away. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I pull my knee to my chest as much as I can, give it a little bit of help, and now circle that hip around. What you may notice is side to side, there may be a big difference between what you can do on one side or how it feels and what the other one does. So this is what the warm-up is for. It's giving you a little bit of like a systems check before you get into the workout. We got one to go. And what you may notice, maybe right now your body's saying, hey, this hip's not very good, spend some extra time on warming it up. So there's no reason not to spend extra warm-up time on this hip, make it feel the same as the other one, if that's the case, so that when you actually start your lower body training, this one's ready to go and up to the same level as the other one. So there's not any big discrepancy from one side to the other. Now we're gonna go again. I'm gonna straighten one leg out. This time I'm gonna lift my leg up as high as possible and pull it slightly towards me. We're gonna work from this bent leg position into a straight leg position. And again, we're gonna do 10 of these. When we've done the 10th one of these, we're gonna do a little bit of nerve flossing in this position. So straight leg, now circle the foot. The weird thing when you do this, suddenly you may feel it in your calf, you might feel it in the sole of your foot, maybe it's on the outside of your ankle, and all that is the sciatic nerve being pulled on slightly because you're a little bit stiff and tight. Then we're gonna go back the other way and do the same thing. Now, when you're drawing these circles with your foot, make them as nice and smooth and circular as possible. If you're noticing you've got a really clunky, junky, not very nice looking circle, now's the time to start getting some better control over your ankle. And we'll go back to the other side. So, lift my leg up, draw it towards me, then we go from bent to straight, and I've just found that my left hamstring is not behaving the same as my right and feels really different. No surprise, I've actually had a calf injury on this side recently, and things have changed a little bit on this leg because of it to protect it. So my left hamstring's feeling a little funny. And then I'm gonna circle the foot, and again, I'm noticing that I'm feeling something on the left-hand side of my ankle that I didn't feel on the right. That would give me some information to go and do more work on it prior to starting to train if I was gonna squat or lunge or something like that. And then 10 back the other way. Two more. Now from this position here, we're gonna come fully to our side. Bring the knee up so it's up past your hip, so knee's gotta come up quite high. I'm gonna lock it to the ground with my spare hand and grab around the ribs with my top hand. All I'm gonna do in this position, I'm gonna roll myself back. So I'm actually pulling on myself, so pull back on the rib cage and try to draw back with my left shoulder blade. So don't just make it all about these muscles here. Use the muscles in your back to draw yourself backwards. And you'll probably find you're starting to free things up a little bit. On the 10th rep on this one, that's 9. This is 10. I'm just gonna let the arm extend out and I'm gonna lie here and let gravity do its work for me and help me open up the pec and feel that stretch across it should be your upper back, by the way. You shouldn't feel this in your lower back at all. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do the other side, same thing. So roll to my side, knee comes up above hip height, I lock it down and I rotate back. Now I'm finding some information on this side. This right side is not turning the same as the left side was. I was rotating much more freely to my left than I am on this side. We've got 3 to go. There we go. It's starting to do its job properly now. And I open that arm back. Oof, that's really stiff on that side. Same thing, keep pulling around with this shoulder blade. So this is the thing doing all the work for me, pulling me back. You'll find if you anchor against your top leg, you can actually get yourself around a little bit further. And then we're just gonna come back onto all fours.
So from this position here, cat camel. So I'm going to exhale. Inhale as I extend. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend. We've got 3 to go. So things to think about. I want to tuck my tailbone, push the floor away, arch up as high as possible. Inhale, extend. Now from here, I'm going to take one hand. So let's do my left hand. I'm going to reach up as high as I can with my left hand and then come back down. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. Now with these, this is a reciprocal pattern. So as I reach up, I want to push down with my supporting hand here. So I'm going to push into the ground as hard as possible while reaching up as high as possible with my spare hand. We've got 2 to go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. And 1 more. And then same on the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. We've got 4 to go. 3, 2, and 1. Now, extend one leg out to the side, sit back, and what we should get is a decent stretch in this adductor here. Get a little bit of stretch maybe in the quad if you're really, really tight. And in this position, I'm just going to rotate the foot. So I'm internally and externally rotating my leg. We'll do 10. So this is 7, 8, 9, and then 1 more. And we're just going to hang out here for about 10 seconds. One of the things that gets missed when people talk about mobility and flexibility is that the amount of information coming from the joint is about 4 times more than it is coming from the muscle. So if I want to change the way my body moves, we're going to swap legs. And same thing, we're going to rotate here for 10. But if I want to change the amount of information that my brain is receiving about how my body is moving and the kind of movement it's doing, I need to make sure that the joints are giving good information and I'm not just relying on the information from the muscles. Because again, the amount of information from the muscles is about 1/4 of what comes from the joints. So we're going to do 1 more. We're going to hang out here for about 10 seconds. If I want to make sure that my body is giving good information and getting good information, I have to spend time on this joint mobility stuff, which is separate to flexibility. Both of these things need working on if you want your body to move properly and give a lot of good information. Now, last 2 things. When you come to this kneeling position, hands go behind your back, clasp your hands. We're going to come up into this tall position here. And all I want to do from this position, I'm going to push my hands down and away from me, lift my head up as high as possible. And some of you may find you get a really good stretch in your neck and around your chin here because you spend so much time in that head forward, kind of texting on your phone, looking at your computer screen posture. You should also feel a stretch in the front of your shoulders in this position. And then one last thing, you can come back down onto your heels, take one hand, put your hand in your opposite pocket, hand goes on your neck, and we're just gonna work the head gently towards the opposite shoulder. So you'll find by anchoring this hand away from you, you really give yourself a lot of stretch in that position. That's 6, 7, 3 to go. And then on this 10th one, we're just gonna hang out here for 10 seconds or so. I'm going to swap hands. We're going to do the same thing. So my hand goes into my opposite pocket. I turn my head, move it towards my opposite shoulder. Again, I'm finding some stuff on the right-hand side that's different to the left-hand side. That if I was going to go do something that was very trap or upper back dominant,
I would want to spend some time investigating why this wasn't moving properly and make sure I got it moving properly before I actually went into my full training session with heavy loads. All right, guys, you should feel pretty supple and ready to go now. What you should be doing at this point now is going into a specific warm-up for the actual workout you're doing, but your body should feel 100% ready to go at this point. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and go to the website peakperformance40.com and check out our community.